We only have 2 episodes remaining for Marvel's What If, and to know what exactly is happening in the final episode, we don't have to wait till the final episode, because the head writer of the series, A.C. Bradley, spoils a couple elements that are leading into it, and it's what most people figured it would be considering, well, everything we know really, so let's talk about it. Marvel's What If always had an interesting uphill battle in my opinion. First and foremost, as a cartoon, how do you get people interested that aren't into cartoons? And we've seen this everywhere. And of course, tying it into the main MCU was bound to turn some heads and interest some people, but again, how do you make a more impactful story, and what is the story going to be? Well, in a recent interview with Entertainment Weekly, the head writer, A.C. Bradley, talks a little bit about this approach, aspect of it, making the MCU multiverse canon to this version of the story, and of course how this all ties together. And in a surprising twist, some details in regards to the final 2 episodes are revealed, and specifically the final episode, and specifically what is going on and what the idea is. And without going into too many quotes, because there is a lot, essentially what we're going to see is that everything that is coming into play with Ultron and all the characters we've seen so far are going to factor into this final episode and the conclusion of the first season in a major way. And the reason that they decided to tell the stories that they did and build them up to where they're meeting at the end is because it is a giant team up. It's sort of designed in a certain way, they said, and once you see it all come together, you will understand the major sorts of tension, the major conclusion that they're building up towards that can still be watched on its own like any other episode, but if you watch episode 8, it does flow into episode 9. So even though episode 8 is standalone, 9 is definitely picking up the pieces and bringing us to a conclusion, if you will, where you see everything that we've seen so far converge and pay off in a interesting way. Now again, they're trying to still tiptoe around what exactly the final episode is about, but if we just look at what they said right there with Ultron and the Infinity Stones, if we look at how they're approaching this series and the trailer so far, it makes sense that that scene of the Avengers recreated with the multiverse, Guardians of the Multiverse, I guess, is the major factor here. And they sort of confirmed that without officially confirming to us that that's exactly what we're going to see here. And then they tease a story beyond this, but that's where they leave it off on. So it's interesting to see that the marketing for the final episode is, let me tell you what the final episode is. I mean, that typically doesn't happen, but hey, I guess in this instance and case, they want people to get super hyped for probably a major twist and turn at the end.